Okay, so in this video we're going to look at dividing decimals. We'll be dividing into decimals and by decimals both. So the first one is 3.28 divided by 4. Now the general rule, there's two rules you remember when you divide decimals. The first rule is that if your divisor, or the number you're dividing by, is a decimal, then you have to actually change it into a integer by moving the decimal place or multiplying by powers of 10. Well, in this case, 4 is already an integer, so I don't have to move the decimal place. The second one is wherever the decimal place is in the dividend, which is what you're dividing into, that's where it goes in your answer. And so you start by saying, does 4 go into 3? Well, it doesn't, so we put a 0 there. And it does make sense in this problem for there to be a 0 in front of the decimal because 3.28 is less than 4, so our answer should be less than 1. And then we say, does 4 go into 32? Well, yes, it does. It goes exactly into 32, and so that gets us 32 minus 32 is 0, 8. And then does 4 go into 8? It does. It goes into it exactly 2 times. So that gets me nothing left over, so my correct answer is 0.82. Okay, example 2, you've got two decimal places, 0.12, dividing into 73.32. And so again, what we're going to do is we're going to move your decimal place 2 places to get us in, and then so we have to move this decimal place 2 places, and so there's nothing after it, so here goes our decimal. Now there is a possibility that we'll have something after it, but we'll get to that point whenever we can. And so we now look at this as 12 into 7,332. And so 12 goes into 73 exactly 6 times with 1 left over. 12 goes into 13 exactly 1 time with 1 left over. And then 12 goes into 1 exactly 1 time. And so there's nothing left, so there's nothing that goes after the decimal. So the answer to this question is actually 611. And so if you divide 73.32 by 0.12, your answer is 611. For your next one, for example 3, you have 843.03, and you want to divide that by 0.09. So again, we move our 2 decimal places. Once again, it's possible that we're not going to have anything after the decimal, but we'll just see how that works out. 9 goes into 84. Well, it doesn't go into 8, but it does go into 84 9 times, so that gives me 81. 9 goes into 33 3 times, so that leaves me with 60 left over. Give myself a little bit more room. And then 9 goes into 66 times for 54, and 9 goes into 63 7 times. Nothing left over. We're at the end of that 3, so the decimal place would have gone there, and so the correct answer is just 9,367. So that gives you a general idea about how to divide some decimal problems. The key 2 things to remember is move the decimal place at the beginning of the problem to make your divisor, the thing you're dividing by, an integer, and then just place the decimal above where it's at in the dividend, or the thing you're dividing into.